subsidiary law become null and void to the extent of that contradiction. And Mr. Speaker, I hope that is so in terms of requirement of work permits and so on. And yet, the Common Market Protocol talks over free movement of people. Free movement that includes free movement of labor, free movement of people in terms of identification and so on, and the free movement of people in terms of the right to establishment, which he also quoted there, and all that is enshrined in the treaty. Now, these provisions which are in the treaty should not be nullified or negated by provisions in the regulation. When we say that there is no work permit or there is free movement of labor, how can there be free movement of labor when we still require work permit? When there is free movement of labor, there should be no work permit. Or when there is no free movement of people, we should not require any visa. And if there is such a provision in the regulations of member states, it must be removed. If it is not removed, then the provisions in the treaty will be. Mr. Speaker, that is my take on this, and I will not belabor much, as it is just something which I want to put as a food for thought, that there should be some move to try to amend regulations or adapt regulations which are in tandem with the principal law. Mr. Speaker, having said that, I would like now to just move to the issues of work permit, for instance. Sometimes it is taken to ridiculous levels. Mr. Speaker, on the 14th of April this year, there was a band which came from Kenya to perform in Musoma. And the band was arrested. The leader of the band is called Morel. Banned in prison, and then later thrown arraigned in court, tried very heavily, and we had to organize what we call a harambee in Kenya to pay for the fine, because we could not afford to pay for the fine. Mr. Speaker, these are some of the things which are happening in Kenya, but I have not had such a case. But if they do, then of course, just as Omar was saying, we are not going to stand here as members from Kenya to defend Kenya if Kenya is also doing the same things like that. Because this is against the spirit of integration. And it is against the principle of the common market which was signed by all our countries. The spirit of the right to establishment is another very, very important aspect of free movement. You cannot have free movement when people come and you still give them 6 months of you say it is free movement. You cannot only be free movement when you say you are giving them some documents
to stay in your country for free movement. When somebody has a right to establish himself in that country and stay. So, Mr. Speaker, we should not be defending small regulations which are being created to hamper the spirit of the common, of the integration of the community. Once the protocol was signed, countries are supposed to make regulations to facilitate, not to hamper, not to make it more difficult for East Africans to move and establish themselves. Mr. Speaker, I think we should not defend our countries when there are issues which are clearly in the spirit of integration, and they are supporting, some regulations which are hampering what has already been agreed. Let us agree that we shall not stand up to defend anything which is not in the spirit of integration. And I want to sincerely support Honorable Guy for moving this particular motion, because this is just a small part of the whole thing. There are many other things. It is not just in free movement of people. We have problems also in the free movement of goods. We have small things which are still happening, which do not allow free movement of goods, but that is not the subject now. I'm not going to delve into it, but I sincerely support this, and I hope that any motion which is brought in this spirit will be supported by the House, so that we can show our partner states that we are serious about integration, and we want this integration to go much further than this. We want to have a borderless community. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oburu. I had already appointed the Honorable Nur, Honorable Mary Mugenyi Forum. Then we appoint another order.
Sorry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I want to join my colleagues in thanking Honorable Kim for bringing this motion at the very right time. Honorable Speaker, we know so many East Africans are really bleeding in silence on this matter. And it's good that Honorable Kim has brought it out. Honorable Speaker, I am only speaking after my two Kenyan colleagues who have just spoken, and I have nothing much really different from what they have said. That is our position, and we stand by that position. I don't know how Kenya will still charge South Sudanese on the issue of visa. If that is the case, we are not going to accept it, and we really stand with the South Sudanese on this matter. Surely, let us not bury our heads under the sun. The fact is, this protocol was signed a long time ago. We are only talking of one item, which is free movement of people. But it's not only confined to free movement of people. People don't want to move alone. They move with their hearts, they move with their goods, they move with everything. Are we really having that free movement of goods and services the way this protocol is supposed to be? The answer is no. The answer is no, and we know it. Each one of us knows it, and we must be able to address, Honorable Speaker. It is a fact that, sorry, it is just a past, but early this year, when some livestock were auctioned from Kenya, which came to Tanzania. And then sooner or later, those are domestic livestock, or animals. But sooner or later, we are going to stop even maybe the Serengeti wildlife not to move from Kenya to Tanzania or from Tanzania to Kenya. That is the level we are. And we must be able to address these issues. And I don't know who else is supposed to address if it's not this House. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the members who have spoken. I wish Honorable Makame is here because he has just walked out. But the way he is interpreting these rules, I don't understand, Honorable Speaker, how could there be free movement when I move at fees? We're talking about free visa, or people should not pay for visa. But others are saying, we are saying there should be no visa at all. So could we first of all as a House speak with one language, that there's no work permit for East Africans, there's no visa for East Africans. Forget about the payments. Because there's no way that we talk about free movement when we are removing tax barriers from goods. Why should we have to charge people $50? How many people across the borders could be able to afford $50? Maybe what they are going to buy from Kenya or from Tanzania or from Uganda is less than even the $50 that we are demanding from them. So, Honorable Speaker, let's be realistic and let's be factual in this issue. If at all the member states have signed this protocol as it is, then they must be enforced. And enforcement don't come just by themselves. They don't just come like that. They may be at the top there, the member states have agreed to give free movements. There may be rogue officers in every country, in every border. I know every sector in the country have their own forums. Maybe migrations have their own forums, central banks have their own forums, which they meet and discuss about these issues. So there must be circular issued to every border town in this region that there is no visa for East Africans. If they are told they could be able to produce their IDs. Of course, also for security reasons, there must be some. That's why the borders are there, for some checks. You check this guy, if he's not a security threat, then he moves. But this aspect of barriers, Honorable Speaker, some of us uses this road from here to Namanga. Can we ask Honorable Makame to tell us how many police roadblocks are there really? For those people who have used these routes, they know it. Even the Olili we used with Honorable Abdikadir last weekend, the number of police barriers on those roads, you cannot imagine. It's only 70 kilometers distance or less than 100 kilometers. And every 10 kilometers you are stopped. If the members are free, then we can be able to move. What about those Kenyans or those Ugandans or those Tanzanians, the East Africans? How could they move? Somebody driving a trailer can take 2 hours, 2 days from here to the Manga border, because after every 10 kilometers is being stopped by a police for no apparent reasons. How will we have a free movement of goods? How do we have free movement of people as anticipated in this treaty? It is not applicable. It's not applying. So, Honorable Speaker, I suggest two reasons in addition to the resolutions that are being proposed. First of all, I want us to agree on the way the resolutions are crafted, that there should be no visa without visa fees, but there should be no visa. That I think should be corrected. And then I want to add that this assembly creates an implementation committee that follows up this matter. That is my proposal, that we must be able to have a committee that follows any resolutions or any regulations or any bills that is being passed in this House are being implemented by member states, and they report to the House that such a country has not implemented, this is the status, this is the level of implementation. Second proposal that I want to make, Honorable Speaker, is under this protocol, common market protocol, there is immigration that comes under it, there is trade that comes under it, but there is no coordination. So as one of the honorable members have said, we must be able to have a Director General who can be able to coordinate these activities of this protocol, who can be able to report on what is the obstacles in terms of implementations. So, Honorable Speaker, I think this institutional framework that Honorable Fatuma has suggested, we must be able to apply. I quite disagree with my colleague, Honorable Fatuma Ibrahim, on the aspect of refugees. There is difference between refugees and people who make trades and move across the border. So what people who are arrested are not refugees. And if they are refugees and they have been there in Kenya for the last 30 years, what's wrong with them being there? Why is it a new issue that now we face? We appreciate the number of Kenyans in South Sudan as much as the South Sudan have to appreciate how much we are hosted. It is vis-a-vis. So I think we need to be able to address these things with a lot of seriousness that they deserve. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support.
Honorable Nur, you will draft your proposed amendment for Honorable Kim to be able to capture them properly. Can I have the microphone off? Honorable Nur?
Yes, sir.
Switch off the microphone. Thank you. Honorable Mary Mugenyi, I had already said. Honorable Rose Akol, Honorable Susan Nakauchi, Honorable Kasamba. This is the only item we have almost, so all of us will have time, no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I would like to also thank the Honorable Kim Guy for the spirit of being East African. I'm really meaning it. And I want to thank all those colleagues who have spoken against limiting or restricting East Africans from enjoying the facility of being East Africans. And I think we should not just put laws in place from communities and then fail to live to the expectations and in a way sort of mock people. Because we tell our people the community allows you under the Common Market and Customs Union to freely move and trade and, you know, live anywhere in East Africa where you want to live. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, we also have to appreciate what the issues that the Honorable Makame has raised. To me, if there were no impediments in the treaty that established the East African community, would have East Africans even going to court and winning cases when they have been put in jail or restricted or whatever. So the fact that there are still impediments within the treaty, to me, is the problem. And so I would like to urge the members of the Council who are luckily here with us to work and speed up quickly the issue of making it possible for East Africans to enjoy the common market and the customs union. Because right now, that's not really what happens. I must say that I have traveled the borders, particularly of my neighboring countries, apart from South Sudan, and I look forward to doing that. And I have not had any problems of being asked for a visa, even when I go with an ID. I go to Kenya, I come to Rwanda, and I have, of course, gone through the border, particularly this one, Kilimanjaro, to Tanzania, and I have not been restricted. But that does not mean that the ordinary East African is not restricted. Because I have heard stories of people being chased away from certain areas of our countries and moved out completely, even when they are born there. In some cases, even when those individuals have been born there. So we still have restrictions, we still have issues. We need to clean the laws. We also need to ensure that there is quick domestication of the treaty into our national laws. And up to now, that has not happened. You will find that the treaty is saying this, but the national laws have not been adjusted to allow the operationalization of the treaty into our national laws and policies. So again, that's an area where the executive could help us really to follow up on this and speed it up. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I don't see any